Last time we have discussed the NGOs of the bioethics. So today we will be discussing some of the other aspects, right, which actually results in the proper implications and proper realization of your bioethics. So this is your gene campaign. So this is your gene campaign. So what is gene campaign? Gene campaign is a grassroots level organization with presence in almost 17 states of India. It was created by Dr. Suman Sahai in 1993, and Gene Campaign is a leading research and advisory organization it is an advisory organization marketing in the field of bioresearch, farmer and community rights, IPR, biopiracy, etc. So it basically looks after the IPR, intellectual property rights, the biopiracy if it is being done. Okay. Since its establishment, it has been working to empower local communities to retain control over the genetic resource. So they are trying to retain the control over the genetic resource. Why they are trying to control over the genetic resource? Because to ensure food security. Apart from the above, Gene Campaign works for the recognition of native or innate knowledge of the resource and its potential for increasing income for the rural and the tribal communities. So whatever knowledge you are having and the resource you are having, whether you are being able to apply to increase the income of the rural and the tribal the tribal communities is basically the aim of your Gene Campaign. So it has provided this community with the legal rights over their own native resource, right? So these are the efforts to keep medicines and products derived from the native resource and knowledge out of the stack of patents. So Gene Campaign has been largely responsible for arising the national debate on the danger of various types of, on the danger of patents, right? The danger of seed patent and its threat to the food. So if you have a seed patent, you will produce new kind of genetically modified seed, and that can lead or directly act onto that of the food we produce. So that particular food may be a threat to the environment. It has set an example fighting against the patent as basmati rice and turmeric. You know what is the story of your basmati rice, because you know that it was a biopiracy. A short dwarf plant was crossed with the basmati rice plant and a new plant produced, and that was being patented, asked for patenting. But it was originated many years before in India as basmati rice. So that was a biopiracy. And you know how the turmeric patent to US-based Indian basically used the powder of the turmeric for wound healing activity and asked for the patent. But those turmeric the role of the turmeric has been documented in Ayurveda so many years before. So it is nothing new. And ICMR produced about 25 citations against this particular turmeric patent, and ultimately the patent was rejected. So these are the biopiracies which is being looked after. So they have put a lot of effort in disseminating public awareness, which was supported by simple literature in all possible regional languages, explaining the process of globalization and the national and international development that could threaten the food and security. So the campaign is still working together with wide range of people, including Farmer Advisory Committee, academic institution, government sectors, political and activist group, right? So next we will move on to other foundation or other organization that is also trying to implement bioethics. So this is your Research Foundation for Science, Technology and Ecology. Now, it is a research initiative found in India in 1982 by the world-renowned scientist and environmentalist Dr. Vandana Shiva to provide direction and support to environmental activism. It works for the preservation of biodiversity, okay, and protecting people's right from the threat to their livelihood and environment by centralized system of monoculture in forestry, agriculture and fishery. So you know that there is many activities which we do is a threat to the environment. So this environmental protection is very important. Biodiversity protection is very important. You just cannot release the GMO into the environment, which can lead to the change in the biodiversity, loss of the biodiversity. So the aim of this program is to support local farmers to conserve crop plant that has been under the harmful effect of GMO. So we have to safeguard the plant and the crop which is under the harmful effect of the GMO. And this movement has now spread throughout the country along with the other organization and framework. Navdanya has trained many batches of men and women farmers, students, government officials, representatives of national and international NGOs on conservation of biodiversity and organic farming. So the training and awareness program is also being given for enhancing the biodiversity. RFSTE has its own seed bank, an organic farm over an area of 2 acres. In May 2001, Navdanya launched its campaign on food rights and food sovereignty with the local communities to take a pledge to save their food and food culture. So they're also trying to save their food and food culture from the malicious intent of the corporate world. That is one of the very important aspects. They were declared to launch Vija Satyagraha against the seed and your patent law. So many implications are basically being indulged or incorporated by this foundation. Next is farmer movement and its NGO. So there are two groups of farmers, one supporting the GM technology. So there are two contradicting group of farmers, one supporting GM technology and other basically opposing the GM technology. There have been allegations and counter allegations between this group. The one who support biotechnology alleged that the group that opposes GM crop are mentored and financed by the lobby of the companies engaged in pesticide production. So on the other hand, this group in favor of GM crop is supposed to be backed by the biotechnologist company. So everybody is actually pointing fingers to the other. One is actually saying that it is being lobbied by the companies engaged by pesticide production, and those who are supporting the biotechnology, they are being backed up by biotechnology companies. It is already known that there are both advantage and disadvantage of the use of GM crop, and hence both groups, even if financed from the industry, seem to have valid stand. So everybody is correct. So you know that some movement relation to farmers are given over here, like Karnataka Rajya Raita Sangha, that is Karnataka State Farmers Association, is a farmer movement from the southern state of Karnataka. This farmer group strongly oppose the introduction of GM crops, so they don't allow GM crop to be introduced. It was associated with NGO RFSTE, which I have talked about, while protesting against Monsanto's trials on BT cotton. So you will be understanding what is Monsanto's trial on BT cotton when I will be discussing the patent cases. And then Shetkari Shangatana or Shangaton is a farmers movement in Western India, and this group led by prominent farmer leader Sharad Joshi in the favor of GM crop due to the advantage that they have over normal crops, but at the same time they also, of the view of the farmer, should have the right to choose. So they basically say that there is a right to choose between normal crop and the GM crop by the farmers. Then media. So what is the role which is being played by the media in the spreading the information? So media plays a very vital role in spreading information on GM crops and discussion. Media is the best way to reach the people, to make them more aware of the facts. So this will enhance the awareness. GM technology is safe to environment, human and animal health. How much it is safe is a big question. So first is down to earth. This magazine is published by the NGO Center for Science and Environment, regularly covers various contemporary issues about GM crop for their introduction into the environment and their various assessments. Newspapers. There are different national level journals and newspapers. The Hindu Business Line, Financial Express and Times of India covers a lot of GM related issues, genetically modified related issues. Then comes the important role that NGOs play. So we are talking about NGOs of bioethics, and we have discussed many roles which have been done by the NGOs of the bioethics, but now it is the time to understand that what are the basic role which is being played. So NGO basically act as a voice of people. So it is like that they are for the people, they are speaking for the people. NGOs speak to the government and the organization on behalf of the people and policymakers. Being in constant touch with local population of the area, they basically comes in touch with the local population of India, of an area. NGO can better empathize that with the people and understand local capabilities, culture and basically challenges, and that can be implemented better. NGO provide technical assistance and training. So NGO arranges, develop technical and assistance with the help of government and other supporting organizations to make people aware the environmental issue that may be arise due to new advancement of technology. That is one of the biggest problems, that when we inculcate this advanced technology, it may lead to different kinds of environmental issues. So how our society will cope with the environmental issues? If there is environmental issues, what will be the ultimate consequence? So public need to be aware about it. NGOs gather independent data on monitoring, research and evaluation. Most NGOs try to gather independent data on the pros and cons of the research, which can be commercialized. So when a research is being done, the advantage and disadvantage of the research both has to be highlighted, thereby empowering people with pros and cons of such activity. And this helps people take an informed stand and draw the conclusion. So they will take an informed stand, yes, and they will draw conclusions. Advisor for indigenous people. NGOs are playing an increased role in spreading awareness about biodiversity and its conservation. So, and the innate property of indigenous plants and trees that are existent since the age and being used by the people for various purposes. So, the indigenous people are using various plants for their daily use. So, what are the importance of the plant and how it is affecting the people, how it is helping the people, and why conservation is very necessary, such that this plant could be conserved and could be utilized throughout the era, is other important aspects of this NGO. So with this, I will end up this class, which is basically associated with the NGO and their activities and their implications in proper understanding of bioethics, awareing the society with the